Do want to live? Give me the shoes.
It's our time. Well, that's not something that I normally do.
That's not training. That's just good instinct.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's going on? It's your boy, Mr. Skrilltown himself. Tonight's guest we have actor, producer, writer, Donn Swaby on the line.
It's actually Swaby.
I knew it. Some told me to ask you that. Don Swaby on the line.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's all good because trust me, ever since I've been a kid, I've had to tell people the correct way. So very few people get it the first time. So you're not alone. It's all good.
I don't feel bad,
sweat,
man.
So.
How's it
Thanks
going?
for the correction. I'm good, man. I'm very good. Life is good, and I'm thriving, and
Yeah. Oh man, yeah. I really appreciate your time. I know you're a busy man. But I want to get on here and tell show our listeners that we have a talented, educated, thriving Black actor, man. And I really appreciate you. I've seen several of your movies, in the past. So I'm just delighted to, have you on the line tonight, man. Yeah. For sure.
Well, I appreciate that. And again, it's an honor to be on your podcast. And thank you for checking out some of my work.
Yeah, man.
It's important. I mean, as an actor and as an artist, I mean, that's what it is. We creating art. Yes, it's something that I feel compelled to do. And yes, it's something that I believe comes through me in whatever form, whether it, as I said, as an artist, whether it comes out as an acting performance, or it comes out if I'm a musician as a song, or if it comes out as an entire film, or it comes out as a play or a screenplay or whatnot. It's also something that it is meant to be shared with other people because it's a message. It's something that I feel is coming through me. Hey, this is something that's my gift to the world. I'm this medium by which, hey, whatever message comes from the divine higher source that because that's how I try to roll when it comes to my mindset as an artist, that it's my responsibility to just whatever stories get given to me, whether it be again a part or role, or whether it be something that an entire a story that comes through that I get downloaded from wherever, that it's my responsibility, my duty to share that and share it as many people as possible. So that's why we do it, and that's why we need people who check out our work and see things, and it's that I mean, live theater, yes, you feel it between you and the audience, but there's also an audience behind the screen too. The reality is that we got a lot of people watching on screens and whatnot. So or reading a book. I mean, the audience, it's creating that art and then having people experience that art, and then hopefully, if it's real art, be transformed in some kind of way.
Yeah,
even if it's
Absolutely. So let me tell the listeners a little bit about you. So Donn was born and raised in Queens, New York. He's a professional writer, producer, and actor in film, television, and theater. He's played roles as Chad Harris, the intense, aspiring music producer on NBC's hit soap opera Passions. He's been nominated for 2 Soap Opera Digest Awards, Outstanding Male Newcomer and Outstanding Younger Lead Actor, and 1 TV Soap Golden Boomerang Award for Most Popular Supporting Male Star. Donn has TV credits that include The Sopranos, Judging Amy, Crossing Jordan with Jill Hennessy, The Parkers with Monique and Countess Vaughn, Half and Half, Surface with Lake Bell, Charm with Alyssa Milano, Rose Gowan and Holly Marie Combs, Gigantic, Monk, Happily Divorced with Fran Drescher and Tashina Arnold, and How to Get Away with Murder with Viola Davis. Wow. And then he has film credits that include Ridley Scott's film G.I. Jane with Demi Moore, Raw Nerve with Mario Van Peebles, Nora's Hair Salon with Jennifer Hudson, Tatiana Ali, Lil' Kim, Bobby Brown, Tamala Jones, Open Window with Robin Tooney and Joel Edgerton, and Buzz for Life with Eddie Griffin Jr. In addition to writing Buzz Life, which was distributed to video in 2008, Don also wrote, co-produced, and starred in the short films Wedding, The Two Professors, and Star Wars, The Mission, Guns and Posters, The Date, The Forum, and then it looks like Orpheus, Starletta Dupose, Pat Belcher. How's it pronounced?
DuPois.
Boys, Pat Belcher, Marla Gibbs, Christy Ferris, and Jade Harlow. So yeah, you've done a lot, man. Every time I'm reading, like, wow, I didn't realize you did so much, man. So how did you?
I've been very blessed, brother. Very blessed. I mean, that's what it is. Very blessed.
Yeah. So how'd you get started, like in acting?
Well, I mean, I was, I think, inspired in high school. It was probably my first high school play in my freshman year that I did. That was when I caught the acting bug, as they say. And I, realized, I love this thing. I love doing that. Now, at the same time, it was also exploring music as I started playing guitar. I was also exploring writing. I was writing poetry. I was writing essays. I was writing short stories. And I was also in journalism. I was taking journalism class. I was writing for the school newspaper. I was, editor for the art literary magazine. I was the editor in chief and the creator of my school's art magazine. So I was, was doing a lot artistically, just exploring all kinds of things. And I was also running, track and field and doing things like that too. So I was pretty much doing. I was one of those kids that did like everything.
He was all American.
I was one of those kids. I did whatever. And I was in honors classes and all that. So academically, I was on that level too, honors classes and AP and all that. But it wasn't until I think end of my junior year or middle of my junior year when we had to start looking for schools. And I had this just thought that came to my head of, well, here's the thing actually too, around that, it was actually just before that. Let's see, no. Okay. So there was a showcase that I had done when I was in high school, maybe the year before, that summer. And it was a showcase where that I'd seen in a backstage. It was like an acting newspaper for trade paper for, like a showcase of scenes. And I thought that would be something like really fun to do. And especially because at the time is when I started really thinking of becoming a professional actor. I think that's when around the time. So it was that summer before, like sophomore year. Wow. And I ended up auditioning and doing it. It was a lot of fun. And nothing really happened from it, but just being a part of it. So that junior year when they're like, okay, you guys got to start thinking about colleges. And I remember getting this book, colleges, looking through it. I said, let me check out the colleges that have, acting programs. And that's what I think when I really realized, you know what, I want to study this. I want to do this. And I remember telling my parents, okay, I'm applying to these schools because they have the best acting programs. Boston University, which is where I ended up going to, was third in the country at the time for undergrad for acting. So that's where I ended up going. And, I had a great 4 years. I'm a classically trained actor because it's a conservatory, so it's based in classical training, and I got my professional start while I was in college doing professional theater, which was also great because the way that worked. I mean, look, man, it was just one of those. I couldn't have done it by myself because it was really my mentors at the school, two particular acting professors in particular, who helped me. One of them was the one who told me about the audition. He's like, "There's a local theater. They're doing this play by Athol Fugard, you know, the South African playwright. You should audition for it." I said, "Well, I'm in school. How am I going to work that out?" He's like, "Don't worry about it. Just audition." So I auditioned for it. I got the role. I was like, "Okay, what am I going to do now?" And he's like, "Okay, we'll figure it out." So he actually went to the school. We worked out a schedule where I was able to like the acting class was broken up into different groups anyway. So I was able to take all my classes, acting classes, you know, dance and movement and whatnot, and voice in the morning, and then I would go to the theater in the afternoon from like 12 on and like rehearse. I also had work study, so I'd also have to leave and then get to work at the dining hall, and then I still had a couple of school, you know, some class work to do, whatever. So, you know, I basically didn't sleep that whole semester, right?
Right.
But man, it was the most fun, alive, you know. It was the beginning. It was just that the beginning of my professional acting career, and so, you know, it was just an amazing beginning, and so that's what started it. And I ended up doing a couple more professional shows in Boston, like the Boston premiere of George C. Wolfe's The Colored Museum, which is a brilliant play. Yeah, man, went back to New York, which is where I'm from, and you know, started doing and then I would, you know, get work every several months. I would, you know, get a play somewhere, you know, on the coast, or I'd, you know, book a radio spot, or I'd book a commercial, or, you know, you know, and I was auditioning a lot, and then, you know, I got representation, and, you know, and then, you know, just auditioning
from there.
Yeah, basically, and that's how it started. Yeah.
So
And,
So did being from New York and moving back, did that help you, you know, get these parts? Because I hear like in certain areas in the country that if you live there, it's better off for you getting into the entertainment industry.
Well, that was true. That was true. You know, like it used to be like New York, LA, and, you know, for example, you know, and then there's smaller, you know, sort of, you know, sub communities of film, for example, like Miami, where they would have, you know, some film, but smaller than like, you know, LA, the smaller ponds, Atlanta, as you know, where they do a lot of film and TV. However, now, because of the way things have gone, and I'm talking about before the last year and a half, where now, you know, most actors, I mean, casting directors don't even see actors now at all.
Right.
Whereas before these last couple of years, the option that has been exercised more and more has been self-tape. So the reality is that with people who've been self-taping, as you know, we've been doing that for the last, you know, 10 years or so, around, well, maybe a little less, maybe even 7, 8 years. So you can be from anywhere, you know. Now, granted, of course, you book a role, you got to be able to, you know, fly out or get yourself to wherever, you know, you got to be, kind of a thing. So I'm sure that's, you know, obviously you wouldn't be auditioning unless you were prepared to, you know. But the truth is, yeah, I've heard casting directors talk about, you know, them finding people, you know, thanks to the internet, you know, who are in all different kind of places. So you don't have to be in those cities anymore.
Shout out to JR, cousin JR. He said, "Do it, brother." Who else we got on here that gave me a shout out? Yeah, we got a couple of listeners tuning in. We appreciate everybody that's tuning in, man.
Thank you, brother.
So you said now that things have transitioned into more of the virtual, you know, auditioning and stuff like that. So how would you approach something now with the experience that you have? Do you kind of like are you a couple of steps ahead so people kind of look at things that you did before, or do you got to do like a full-on audition like everybody else? You know, does your resume play a part, or do you still have to kind of, you know, still audition like for roles and stuff like that?
Yeah. And the answer to both of your questions is yes. So yes, you know, the audition, the resume does say something, regardless of, you know, in other words, you know, if it's somebody who has, you know, very few credits, then, you know, okay, they're young, they're new, someone who more credits. Obviously, they've got more experience. People have hired them more, so it sends that message. This person has been hired before. Recent credits versus credits that are not so recent. This person has been working recently as opposed to several years ago. So yeah, your resume says a lot before a casting director will even see you or see your work or watch your reel or whatever. Your reel then says something else. And then the audition scene that you might tape at your home and then send that in, that says something else. So all those different components I think factor in. And it's really only like 2% of actors who can get to bypass that whole. You got to be real high up there, man. To
Right.
Audition process, brother. Unfortunately, 98% of us just they
don't get the cut.
Even if you skip a step, even if it's like, okay, well, the casting director knows you, for example. So in those cases, they will send you directly to, let's say, the producers. Why? Because they know your work, they know you're good, they know you're gonna be able to do it, whatever. So they used to bring you in, and now they go, okay, we're just gonna send you straight there. So that's. And that's evidence of the relationship between the casting director and the actor, that they know their work really well. But it's still an audition. You still got to go through the producers of the show, and then it's the network people, and then it's you know what I'm saying. So you still got to jump through those hoops. You could be real big, and you could still. I mean, I've heard even actors who you think it were A-list actors who had to audition for certain things because it's like. And a lot of A-list actors, some of them, well, just like all the rest of us, really are, the audition
they go
process
hard at it.
Challenges, but it can be and has been. I mean, one of the most valuable jobs I ever had was one summer. Actually, my first summer after I graduated from BU when I was back in New York, and I actually worked for Jim Carnahan, who is a Broadway casting director, but he also casts film as well as stage. So that whole summer I got to be a reader for him. And it was such an invaluable experience being on that side of it, and seeing actors come in and seeing who was prepared and who was not, seeing people who were A-list actors who were not prepared, see who was winging it. Oh yeah,
winging it.
Some I was like, really? All right.
Right.
You know what I mean? But and then some people who were no shows, that didn't make sense to me at all. That was like not only that, but you're a known name. There was one or two that it was like they didn't show up because I think the projects were for example, one was the Will Smith film Enemy of the State, and so we were auditioning the female leads and all that, and yeah, man, just and then of course getting to read across from all these great actors too. That it was so, and seeing the process of how what he was thinking, what the producers were thinking, what the director of the project was thinking, and how they went about picking people, and yeah, it was great. It was great.
So some out of all these roles, I read about 10 different shows or movies that you've been on. What was the most challenging role for you? Well,
it's because when I think of roles, I also think of, there's stage, and then there's film, there's television. And there's different challenges with different things. So I'm going to qualify that answer by saying I'm going to kind of give you maybe two answers in one. Okay. So for television film, I would say that the most challenging role that I probably had was, a couple of them. Well, you know what? Three answers. So stage, film, and TV. So stage. Let's start with film. I got cast in Nora's hair salon, where when I initially went in, I was playing that character because the character is he's a hairdresser. He's obviously he's flamboyantly gay, but the flamboyant part that wasn't written in it, and I tried to make him really realistic and just kind of and subdued in it, but sassy and sort of whatever, but in a subdued way, like sort of at I'm talking like that, and I'm not, but but just being kind of like keeping it like but subtle. Yeah, and they were like, for the callback, they were like, "Nah, man, we want you to just go with it." And I remember sitting for a while thinking, okay, what do I do? Because my dilemma is like, I don't want to play, and maybe this is just my ego in my head thinking, well, I'm a good actor. I'm not going to play a stereotype. I'm not going to play play it all, clownish and whatnot. So I was like, well, how do I go? And then one of the first lessons that I had learned about acting and in terms of just being able to embrace everything about a character and saying yes to a character, that the way to create a character and have a real portrayal is like to embrace their largeness. I mean, you look at someone like Al Pacino. Al Pacino chews up the scenery in some of them movies, man. That dude is huge, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it doesn't look like it's overacting. Does it look like it's not? And he doesn't do that in every scene, right? He chooses his moments for those things. But the whole idea is that you don't have to play a stereotype, because yes, there are people who are somewhat stereotypical. They're still real people, so therefore that means there's still elements of humanity, and that's what it is, bringing the humanity to those larger than life characters so that they're not a stereotype. And that was the challenge that for me for that particular role, which having played that character in 2 different films, because we did the sequel. I don't know how successful I was.
Man, you were successful because you had me fooled. That's what I mean. I love Hair Salon. I ain't gonna lie, man. And that was the film that I recognized you in out of all the ones that when I seen you met you on LinkedIn, I was like, I remember him from Hair Salon. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you did your thing, man. Yeah, you did.
Yeah, it was a great cast too. I mean, Jennifer, Jennifer Lewis, Tatiana Ali, like you said, Bobby Brown, Lil' Kim. We all had such a great time. Really, it was such a Christina Carlo. Yeah, wonderful cast, man. Okay, so just to finish that answer real quick. So challenge for TV was Chad Harris for Passions, and the reason I say Chad is not because of the fact that it was a character. Not because of the fact that I created essentially a character where he doesn't speak like me. He's from the street. He's kind of had that street thing. I mean, plenty of times where fans were like, "Oh, you don't really talk that way," and I'm like, "Well, it's because I'm acting. I'm really just playing a character. I'm really right. But still bringing myself to him to some degree. But I knew that the way I spoke, it's like okay, when you watch. It's like when I saw a Q&A with Terrence Howard, that was the first time I ever saw him live. And I was like, oh, okay, that's how he speaks in normal life. And obviously you don't speak like that in Hustle and Flow. Right, that's a character that we created. So, so that's where how I approached it. But the challenge was the fact that it was a soap opera. The challenge was the fact that on a soap opera, you pretty much have a storyline that it gets extended to forever, and you are essentially saying the same things episode in and episode out, and they just change a few words around. And for me, as the actor playing a character, I was like, well, I'm not going to play it like I've not said this before, because that doesn't make sense. I like the fact that I'm playing a character that's going to be growing through as time goes on. And so my idea was that, that I would have to play it with the sense of like, and this is the 3rd time I've said this. right. Listen this time, okay? Because I don't want, you know what I mean? It was like, that was my energy, because I'm like, I've got to be able to, incorporate the limits of the structure of the thing, while delivering what I feel is a real performance of a real person as much as possible. So that was the challenge for that for me. It was just being able to and take that script and try
flip it. You gotta make it yours.
Yeah, man, because and some of the writing too. I mean, they were trying to write for a brother where, dude, look, it was like the first time Chad sees his his leather jacket that he ends up adopting and having as his own. And he says, "Oh, that's neat." I remember just getting the script, I'm like, neat. Brother, I'm gonna say neat.
He ain't about to say neat. Yeah,
neat. I'm like, okay. And that was the first time I started actually, doing little rewrites, and where basically what happened is I was actually on a show where they allowed this. There's some shows where they don't, And nothing against the writers. These are writers who, got to do like 80% expository info, 80%, and then the 20% new stuff, but 80% they got to recycle it. So, they got challenges in this first draft. It's for, they put pumping them out because, it's 5 days a week. But what was cool is they did allow me in those moments to go, well, and I think it's because they didn't really have any black writers in that writing room. So,
right.
It was like, let him, and that was great. In fact, the best part was a couple of months in, start getting those scripts, and you start seeing the way you speak, and oh, they're watching.
Yeah, they want you to speak more, and add to it more, be creative more. Yeah, creativity. Okay.
And then the last one, the challenge would be stage was a play called We Be I Me, written by a talented brother named Leon Gray. I did 5 plays actually with Leon over the course of time. And we it feels like five plays, but we did 3. I did 3 plays with him over the course of 5 years. Sorry, so 3 plays over the course of 5 years. But we toured a lot. Did the National Black Theater Festival in Atlanta a couple times, different plays. We Be I Me was a play where, long story short, I played a prisoner who's going to be executed at the end of the play, and the entire play is me remembering the bigger moments of my life, and these other actors, this ensemble, basically play out these different scenes from the milestones of my life, from the first time I ever kissed a girl, to the first time I had sex, to the first time to when I got abused and raped as a child, and all these different moments, and at the end it's all happening in my character's head. Okay. I'm on, and then at the end I come out and I had this big long monologue that about just and then I go to my and then the characters, we have this thing. It's a beautiful, magical play. In fact, the way it's written. I'm on stage the entire time. I was on stage literally when the audience comes in, just in my cell, all the way to the very end. So so when they're doing their thing, I'm sort of reliving it, and in a way where, what I'm saying. So in the moment where he's having one actor's having a monologue about the rape, I'm reliving the rape in that cell too, and crying and sweating and just breaking out, and just, I really had to just allow myself to go there to such a degree where emotionally it was the most draining role I think I've ever done. Where by the end of that play, the character is exhausted, I was exhausted. I'm coming out and then I speak and say my thing, and it's just so that was challenging, just in terms of the stamina. That was like having that stamina to sustain that emotional
that sounds like one of those roles you have to decompress after you're done with it, man. Like, wow, you have to go on a vacation and what I'm saying, for a couple of days. But that sounds like a cool play. I wouldn't mind actually seeing something like that. I
would love for us to do it again. Yeah, we Be I Me, man. Yeah, brilliant. Like I said, Leon Gray, man, he's so talented, brother. And he's written some wonderful plays. They've been on off Broadway in the last 10 years or so. He's had a couple of shows out there in New York.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is great.
Well, I don't want to take up too much more of your time. I only have 2 questions for you. One is for an aspiring actor, just getting in the thick of things, starting out. What type of words of wisdom do you have for them?
Well, I would just say, the biggest thing you got going for you is your belief in yourself. You guys got to believe in yourself, as cliched as it sounds. But you have to have that belief in that thing that is calling you, and trust in it. If it's, if you're hearing that call and answering that call, then trust that something will happen, and you don't know what form and what shape or whatever. Don't have any preconceived notions. Yes, hey, it's natural and human to fantasize or think about, oh wow, what would it be like to be an actor? What would it be like to, be on set of in a show, in a play, or on a film set or TV, whatever.
Right.
But at the same time, it's not our job to know exactly what shape our destiny and our things, that manifest, what shape they come in, or in what form. We don't know.
Right.
We can envision, oh yeah, I want it to be like this. Okay. But it comes in something else. Oh, and you don't know, so just be open. And it's that passion. That's what's, that's what it's about. If you got that passion, because all the other stuff you can learn, you can learn, you can hone your skills as an actor, and you can take classes, you can go to a school and get a degree in an acting program. You can, take seminars and learn about the business. You can learn about casting directors. You can learn about self-tapes and how to self-tape. You can learn about, as I said, in the acting classes, acting 101, all the things that you can to hone those skills. And how they translate on, camera, for example, learning how to write a proper resume, learning how to, write a cover letter, all those things you can learn. You got to start with that passion. You got to start with that thing. And that's what it is. Now, if you are thinking it's because, it's fame and fortune and money and all that, no. Then when I say no, okay. Whoever's watching this, I don't mean to be cold or blunt or rude in that way when I say what I really am saying is you will want to reconsider or think if this is something that you really want to do, only because like anything else that's really worth something, it's not easy, and I say when it's easy, not easy, just the challenge of being an actor and being the best actors one can be is one challenge. The challenge of the industry and the ins and outs of it is another. And if if you want to do it for money and fame, and you don't get the auditions, and you don't get advance anywhere, you're going to stop anyway. You're going to be like, well, this is not worth it because it's the passion that keeps you through those times when you're the lean times, as they say, when you're not working, or you're not even auditioning, or when you're or like even as an artist, when you're waiting for something to happen. As an author, you can get a book deal and the book may not come out for 2 years. The reality is you could as a screenwriter, I sell the screenplay tomorrow, and okay, great, that's wonderful. They may not make it. They have 2 years now or a year and a half to make that screenplay, or not.
Yeah.
So the reality is that and then they can give it back to you, and then nothing happens. Okay. Wow. So or you could give a full manuscript, to a publisher, and they love the first, but then they may or may not turn it down. So at the end of the day, all the work you do, you may not see something happen. Now, of course, if you create your own your own content, and you self-generate, things, projects and stuff for you to do, in that sense, which I totally encourage you to do. I, as an actor, I'm a writer, musician, I'm a filmmaker. So, I just create art, and I don't wait. I'm not waiting for permission to create something, and you don't need that. So if you already don't know that, then know that you do not need permission to create art right now. You don't need an agent. You don't need, a resume. You don't need all those other things. So you can create art, and you can get it out there. You got YouTube channels. You got other platforms where you can get your art out there in front of people right away. Right. So that, in and of itself, you don't need permission to be an artist. Now, if you want to be an artist who gets hired to, and paid money, now, of course, again, you can self-generate to the point where you become like a Tyler Perry or someone like that, or self-generate like a Spike Lee, and and then you create your career from the ground up in that way. Or you can do other people's films, direct other people's films if you're a director, or you can as a what I'm saying, or as an actor, if you're an actor writer, you
work for hire,
right? And so. But I'm just saying that there's something self-empowering in being able to collaborate with other people and actually create something, as opposed to, as like I said, just waiting for somebody to give you something to do, like, okay, this is a great role. So I would say just explore all of the opportunities, all the options, all the different ways. You know what I'm saying, of procuring work and stuff for yourself.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
And then last but not least, any future projects that are coming out that we could look forward to, and then where to find you at on social media.
Sure. Well, I've got 2 projects that I've been focused on as of late. The first one, I'm very, very, very excited. Well, actually, there's Orpheus Star, which you mentioned earlier. And I had actually shot a proof of concept short last year. I had an all-star cast. It was great. It was Starletta Dupois, as you said, Patricia Belcher, Christy Ferris, and Jade Harlow, who are my cast members from Passions. Marla Gibbs also.
Marla Gibbs,
Marla's in it too. So I was really Rosie Lee Hooks was also in it. So you had a great cast. And it's based on the feature. And my executive producer and I right now are working on doing the pitching and the presenting and all that and that process. So we're working together. And getting the financing,
right.
and I'm excited about it because it's a project. Hopefully, it will be my second feature film produced. My first one, as you know, which you also stated, was Butts for Life.
Yeah, Butts for Life,
which was great. I was glad that I got a chance to have that to have that made. And yeah, hopefully this will be the second. Actually, no, I know this will be the second one. My second feature film produced. I have this feeling it's a passion project that I've had for a while. So I'm very excited about it. And the second project is a sci-fi TV drama series that I've been developing for about a year now, working with a production company. And very excited about it. It's something that came about very organically. It was actually inspired by one of my short films called The Date, which is on my YouTube channel. And I can't really talk too much about it, but I can tell you, I mean, it entails time travel, ancient civilizations, it's a sort of epic love story. There's action, adventure, mythology. There's a lot.
All the good stuff.
This
all
is
the good stuff.
And it's going to be this might be this will be a game changer. If my show is created the way I've envisioned it, and at this point I've got the first 3 seasons kind of mapped out. If it's created the way I envision it, this show will not only be a cross-cultural phenomenon, because of the various different cultures that it features, as well as different demographics, cultural demographics. But at the same time too, there's a lot in it that it's a status quo sort of challenging type of thing too, and it's revolutionary, and yet at the same time it's all about love and forgiveness, and empathy. Love, forgiveness, compassion, empathy. Those are the things that at its core.
Right.
So I know I'm speaking all around it. I'm speaking all around the thing.
Hey, it sounds interesting to me.
Yeah, it's going to be hot. It's going to be hot, man. It's going to be seriously. So I'm almost obsessed with it. It's funny when and again, I'm the medium. I'm the person that it downloads, it gets channeled through, and yet I myself, without taking any ownership of it, it's more like, wow, thank you for allowing me, as an artist to share this story that's coming out, because I'm so excited about it, and that's my attitude. You know what I mean? I'm just thankful that I'm the vessel that it came through.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
That sounds. I'm excited for that. That sounds pretty interesting, man. And you know, that's what this world needs is more shows that have creativity and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Make you think a little bit more, you know.
Well, yeah, man. I mean, at the end of the day, brother, you know, it's like, okay, you look at Star Wars, for example, and I'm sure, you know, we're probably about the same age. So we grew up, you know, with Star Wars, right? So, you know, what I realized, you know, as an adult is what made those movies so successful, so magical and wonderful. It's not just the sci-fi element, not just, I mean, yes, hey, look, the badass lightsaber duels, you know, the TIE fighters and all of that, and you know, Luke using the Force and all that stuff was amazing.
Right.
And that's the stuff we like. Yeah. At the same time, there is a part of that, you know, that as an adult I can appreciate, especially when I learned that George Lucas, you know, when he wrote it, he, you know, had the hero's journey sort of in mind, the Joseph Campbell, you know, template where, you know, he had these things that he definitely elements that he wanted to make sure that he hit all these different points in the story, because he's like, it's really about this inner journey, this kid learning to believe in himself, believing in something, that he's part of something bigger than himself. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, so you hear the spirituality in that. Now we can talk about that as spirituality now, but we was kids at 5, 6, 7. That's not, you know what I'm saying?
Right. It wasn't relevant.
Consciousness. But at the same time, there's something about it. Like, for example, like for me, one of my, and this proves it to me, when Joseph Campbell was being interviewed by Bill Moyers back after, you know, the hero's journey and the Star Wars thing became a big phenomenon. Everybody thought, oh, that's where it came from. And he was like, you know, one of my favorite moments in watching Star Wars, the original Star Wars, was when Luke is in that thing and he hears Ben Kenobi's, you know, voice say, "Use the Force, Luke," and he said, all these kids started jumping up and cheering and da-da-da.
Right.
They weren't going, huh? Why is he's hearing this? What is that about? What that's weird. Is that a go? You know what I mean? It wasn't that.
Yeah.
The reaction was they got it. They
got it. Yep, it clicked.
He's with him. He ain't lost him. He hasn't lost him. He's still with him somehow. So now he's sort of something part of something greater. He's still, you know what I mean? It's like without explaining it all and trying to break it down, it's like I'm just saying that there's something about that story. And then of course then you fast forward to, you know, Return of the Jedi, and the fact that the whole reason that Luke was able to do what he did is for the love of his father and being able to say, okay, I'm not going to walk his road. So it's really for the love of him, that I'm going to try to save him. You know what I'm saying? And forgive him for what he did. I mean, so at the end of the day, that is really the core of that story. That story is a family story. It's a family saga, man. You know, Star Wars is a family drama. You know, with people with real feelings, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so,
that's what it's all about. I mean,
and that's what it's about. So that's what I'm trying to do as an artist. And I think for me, that's what it's. You know, it's not. You know, I'm not trying to create, you know, fluff. I'm not trying to create something where you just kind of go, oh, that was cool for okay. I'm gonna forget about it tomorrow. I want to create art that. Or be the facilitator of art that has either a message, or when I say a message, I don't mean like, oh, I'm trying to hit you over the head with a message, but more like, but that gets you in, gets you to feel something. I want to create something that makes you feel something, because when we feel, that's when we're human. Right. You know what I mean? To feel, to be human, have those emotions. To say, oh, we all go through those emotions.
Feel the same.
Anger, sadness, joy. You know, grief, whatever. We all go through those things, man. You know. Yeah,
you're right about that, man. I'm excited. I'm anxious now to see what comes of it, man. Yeah, like for real. Yeah, most definitely, man. You got a lot of ideas. I appreciate that. That's like you said, it's an art, man, and only people that are true artists can understand that. You know, at the end of the day. So where can we all reach you at, or, you know, follow you or so forth, you know, the avid fans and so forth?
Sure. Well, I in terms of social media, I'm on Facebook, Instagram. So those are my main two. And, you know, I've got my YouTube channel where I put up a lot of, you know, my content, short films and whatnot, Vimeo as well. But yeah, those two are the main places, and you know, I respond, you know, to people. So you hit me up, I'll say what's up, you know.
Yeah, like you did to me, man, and I appreciate that. Yeah,
you know, for sure, man. You know,
yeah,
hey, yo, you know what I mean? Look, if you took the time to reach out to me and say, hey, you want to connect? I mean, you know, and it's funny because I creative easily, and then some people will just, add people, not even. I'm like, well, no, I'm not going to just add the person and then go on about my day. Let me see who this person is. I'm like, they'd be like, hey man, thanks for reaching out to me. Well, what are you about? What you do? Oh, okay. Oh, you in that business? Oh, cool. Well, hey man, well, I wish you well. And hey, you never know. Maybe we, there might be one day where, and it turns out this one day for us was actually,
it happened.
Because we said, hey man, you want to be on my podcast? I'm like, sure. And we made it happen. And that's it. So
yeah,
so
man,
I really appreciate you reaching out to me like that, man.
Hey, same here, man. Likewise. So what's the name of your YouTube channel so our listeners will know where to go?
If you just put in, it's my name, Donn Swaby. So if you just put
Don
in
Swaby.
DONNNN SWABY, and that should come up. And then Instagram, it's Donn_Swaby, and then Facebook, I think it's at Donn Swaby. Right, so.
Yeah, Don Swaby. Okay. Cool, man. Well, like I said, for those who tuned in, we really appreciate it. Don, I appreciate all your time, man. I respect you as an actor. I am a fan. I've been a fan for a while, and I wish you good luck on all your future endeavors. And yeah, man, I just thank you for allowing us the time on the show tonight.
Well, hey, my brother, I appreciate you so much. Invite me into your space, onto your show. And just allowing me to share, and I really appreciate that. So I had a great time, man, and thank you.
Yeah, likewise, man. Well, all right, for the listeners that you can always tune in Sunday and Monday nights to Welcome Skrilltown Talk. You can also go on the YouTube channel, Welcome to Skrilltown Talk as well. Check out any and all of the movies, films, and stage plays that Donn Swaby has done. Check them out. Google. Find them. And until next time, we will see y'all. And then, shout out to Brandon Murray. He was one of the last ones, my cousin Brandon, for tapping in tonight. Check him out, Chef Brandon. He is
Chef Brandon.
Yeah, Chef Brandon's doing his thing, man. So yeah, check him out.
Well, I know Chef. If he's Chef Brandon, he's got to be making some good food.
Oh, he most definitely makes some good food.
Whatever he makes, got to be good.
Yeah, well, and he does it too. So yeah, shout out to Chef Brandon, shout out to JR, and thanks again, Don. I will talk to you next time.
Oh, for sure. Hey, yeah, let's do this again.
All right, man. God bless. We out.
God bless, brother. All right.